Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, this is going to be a different kind of story today. There's no video, there's no article, this is just you and I talking. And the last time I did one of these, it got a mass dislike. This one is not going to be any particular subject like pro-life, whatever, and that's not going to be any of that shit. Whether these rights or no, this is going to be me. I need to get this off my chest, I need to speak about this, and it's about my personal life, and it's not detailed in the sense of I'm going to take it, but just this is what's going on, and I want to express myself on it because I'm trying to be supportive, and I'll explain to you all what I'm going to mean by this. I'm trying to be supportive, but I need to be selfish for 5 minutes and just like express myself, because dealing with other people's emotions when you don't have a real grasp of emotions of your own, you know, that is it's frustrating, and I need to get this off my chest. And if you're looking for another kind of video, thanks very much for sticking around, but it ain't going to be one of those. If you want to hear this shit, that's cool, right? But if this isn't what you're looking for, don't listen. Right, if you've watched any of my videos or this is your first time round, I'm going to give you a bit of backstory. And if you've watched my videos, you know little tidbits of my life that I relate to certain things I'm talking about. But this one, a little bit detailed, but not too much. You know what I mean? So, as you can tell by the accent, I am a Scotsman, right? And I've lived in Scotland for the majority of my life, but not all of my life. I'm a Canadian by birth, and the reason I came to Scotland is my mother came here to escape my father. Right, my mother's from here. So, and thank God, by the way, for being raised Scottish. Because there may be a chance that I could end up, if I was still in Canada, being one of those cut Justin Trudeau types. And that would just be fucking embarrassing, you know? Oh my God. So, yay for a Scotsman. Yay. But, that's bullshit. That's me just making noise. But, so I've been brought up a Scotsman, right, with Scottish values, Scottish principles, Scottish everything, right, but I still have vivid memory of what life was like before that, right? Turns out, being wired this way, you tend to hold on to certain key things and you recall them like they happened yesterday. It's quite unsettling sometimes, but we don't let it get in the way of us, you know, so, but, anyway, where was I? Yeah, here we go. Right, so, relationship with my mother was strained at best of times. Well, she was now a single mother. That's no good. Honestly, I am a firm believer that you need both parents. And if it wasn't for the fact that when I was 12, coming up for 13, I was taken into social care, or a children's home in Britain, but social care. And if it wasn't for that, I imagine I would be much, well, put it this way, I don't think I'd be as well adjusted as I am now. But we'll explain why now. As many people are aware, and some people surprisingly are not, we are who we are today. Who we are today is a culmination of lifetime experiences up to that point. And it shapes who you are and the way you respond to certain things. Now, if it wasn't for the children's home, I would never have developed the skills necessary to function in today's society at all. If you look through my previous videos here, you'll probably come across one that says how to socially interact by an aspergers sufferer. And that is me. How do you do? Now, I started this process when I was about 14, and if you listen to the video, I'm not going to go through it again because it's a long one. So if you listen to this video, you listen to that video, I'll tell you what, I'll leave the link to that video in the description. I apologise for the sound. I didn't have a good microphone back then. I have a better one now, so yeah, so, but here we go. I have Asperger's syndrome, right, but I was only diagnosed when I was in like, mid-30s. Right, so 33 I was diagnosed, I think, yeah, but, right, so up until that point, I knew I wasn't the same as others, right? Because this is going to sound cliche as fuck, right? Oh god, I just heard myself say it in my head. Oh, but I felt like I was an alien on the planet, and I know that's like, ugh. But I knew that when I was younger that I wasn't the same as the other kids that way. I didn't think the way they do. I wonder how people could think so slowly. It just like, wow. But just because I was good at some things doesn't mean I was good at everything. There was things that I was just not able to do. Still, I'm unable to do. Like when I was sitting my exams in 4th year. In Britain, 4th years, you can leave at 4th year, so you're 16, you can leave then, but you sit your main exams and you get your, well, in my time it was your foundation, general and credit, stuff like that. That's what it was back then. Now it's some fucking mad numeric system with pointless values, but still. I'm digressing again. But I failed creative writing. That's beyond me. Give me a musical instrument, I'll play anything. Right? And I can make up music. You've heard my 5-minute mess about video. That's me and my mate pissing about for 5 minutes in the studio. He's got recorded. That's just us messing about. But see, trying to write, it's like I can write music, but I can't write a song, you know. I write something down on paper, not only does it sound shit, it is shit, you know, I just can't do it. It's pointless. I can put a rhyme together, no problem, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just pointless nonsense, so I don't bother. I'm just not good at making stuff up. I observe and report. But up until the point I was diagnosed with Asperger's, or had an Asperger's confirmed, right? I didn't go looking for it. It was my partner that pushed me to do it. Because my middle daughter has Asperger's syndrome. And she straight away knew she's just like you that way. And she's been diagnosed, go get checked. And I'm like, it's fine. I'm fine, no. And she's like, please just go do it. So I went and spoke to my doctor. And guess what? It turns out I'm the same way. Right? I always knew it was different, but up until the point I was diagnosed, I always thought of myself as a functioning sociopath. And I'm not joking. I know I put it in my comments for, hey, it's a joke. It's not. That's how I honestly thought of myself. Because I heard it quoted once, the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. Right? And this always stuck with me. A psychopath doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. A sociopath does and doesn't care. And that's the way I felt about a lot of things. Right, let's see if a good analogy for it. As long as your shit doesn't affect my shit, I don't give a shit. And that's how I looked at a lot of things throughout my life. I'm starting to develop a more relaxed nature to certain things. I can agree to disagree now. I never used to be able to do that. With age comes experience, with experience comes wisdom. And I do not think of myself as a wise man in any way, shape or form. As I say, I work from common sense and logic. And if it doesn't make sense or it's not logical, it baffles me. But again, I digress. So I did not have the greatest relationship with my parents, right? So I never really got attached to my mum, so blah 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 blah. When I met my partner, and say she came with baggage, right? We're getting here, remember? Well, I digress greatly in things, but when I met my partner, I met her family. Now, I don't have anything to do with my actual biological family. The only reason I found out my mother was adopted by both sides of the family. And the only reason I found out is when she died, because I got a hold of her birth certificate first time I'd seen it. So I have absolutely no idea about her side of the family at all and all. But say they took her on as their own. That's absolutely fine. My youngest daughter, I adopted her. She's obviously not mine. I met my partner when she was 1.5. Right? So, she was brilliant. No, I don't mind. When I come with baggage, I expect you to do so anyway. But I met my partner's family. And at first we didn't really... I am the way I am. So until you really get to know me, I do come off as abrasive and loud, I suppose. Conversations break off into other ones and just blah 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 blah. It carries on. Fractal thinking, look it up, you'll understand what I mean when I just carry. I didn't know when to stop talking, which I suppose is, for this kind of thing, is a good thing. But I say I'll try to keep this inside of 40 minutes, right? But I met her family, and they took me in quite readily because I was far better than the last one. Cool, that's fine. I know how much of a dick he was, that's cool, but then again that's only one side of a story. But when the same conversation gets repeated from several different sources outside the one family, you tend to start believing it a bit more. But anyway, I got my revenge on him, doesn't matter, don't worry. But anyway, hey, I got adopted his daughter, and she calls me dad. He doesn't want her, I'll take her, she's a great kid. She got Pupil of the Year more than once. And I help her with her maths homework, it's great fun. Yeah, she's a few years ahead of what she should be, thank you, she's welcome. Yeah, but anyway, I was good at math. Math and music seem to sing, right? But anyway, I met her family, and I say they took me and accepted me, and they accepted me for who I am and what I am, and they didn't. When they found out that I had this Asperger's syndrome, they weren't surprised at all. But it really took me by surprise, because I never put two and two together with it. Because I always thought I was a sociopath, because I knew it was wrong, and I just didn't care about it when I was younger. Right, I developed a bit more skill and social skills, as if you watch that video about it, you'll understand what I mean. Because I go into far more fucking detail about shit, but it's just my relationship with my mother was strained at best, despicable at the worst, right? So I never really had an attachment to her, and when she died, I was mixed about it. Like shit. But I was kind of sad, I suppose. But anyway, I never cared about parenting then, you know what I mean? As long my whole view of being a father is I'm never going to be mine. You know, I don't know what kind of father I'm going to be, but I'm never going to be like mine. And it seems to work out well so far. There's no need for what he was like, right? And I've never had to discipline my children, because they know when they get punished from me, they've done something to warrant it. And I never had to raise my hand to any of them, ever, right? And they're not scared of me in any way, unless I shout, because I don't shout at them. There's no need. I discuss with them rationally, but when I lose my temper and I shout at them, they know they've done something really wrong. But that's as far as it goes. And when I ground you. When I shout at you, it's done. I've shouted at you, you know you've done wrong. As long as it's not serious, don't do it again, we're fine. Right? If I have to ground you, it means you've done something really fucking stupid. Right? And you get the grounding that I got. All tech gone. And when my day we're talking, my Game Boy, right? My Game Boy Color, my Atari, and my VCR. Bye bye, out the room. There was no Freeview, there was no satellite telly, you know, we didn't have cable, nope, didn't have any of that stuff. You had what we called council telly, which is channels 1 to 4. Oh, and up until 1995 you only had 4 channels, if memory serves me. But anyway, showing my age now. But as I say, my relationship with my mother was strained at best, despicable at worst. But I never thought I would get another one, and my partner's mother had the big C about 10-15 years ago, maybe more than that. I think she got her 10 years clear when I was with my partner for 6 years. Right, so about 6 years we were together when she got her 10 years clear, so there we go. We've been together 9, so that was 3 years ago. Right, she got her 10 years clear. Right, brilliant, because she's an amazing woman, you know what I mean? I would be honoured if she was actually my mother, you know, being one of her kids. A bit weird with the thing, but no. She took me on as her son-in-law without even having to marry her daughter. She just took me on. I get cards from her son-in-law, blah blah blah. I mean, she's brilliant. Because she accepted me for who I am. I mean, I'm not a violent person. I stomp about a bit and I'm a door slammer, But that's to the extent that it is. I stomp about for 15 minutes and a half, and then I come back, right, okay, let's talk, right, and then we talk, and then the problem is aired there and then, and we don't dwell on it. That's probably why we got on so well, because we do hammer out the arguments. But it never comes to anything, and our neighbours are old school, you know, they don't phone at the slightest trouble. You know what I mean? They know we're good, they know that I've never heard, they know us. We've been here for years, you know what I mean? So they know who we are. So they hear us shouting a lot, for God's sakes. But they've been married for like 50 years on one side and divorced and killed on the other side, you know what I mean? They all know what they know the score, you know what I mean? It's like you argue to make a relationship work, right? You need to argue and hammer out the problems, right? As long as you don't start hammering on each other and start using it against each other, right? And what I mean is, like, as long as you don't start using your own, spinning it to twist things into your, just, if you have a problem, talk about it. If voices get raised, so be it, but as long as it doesn't end with the voices raised. As long as it comes back down to talking about it. That's what matters. Do not leave it with the voices raised. Bring it back down, and it's worked out well so far. So anyway, again, digressing. So, she got 10 years clear about 3 years ago. And last year, she found a lump. Now, I never had an attachment to someone, and it's one of those ones, I don't call her by her name, I call her mum. You know, it's one of those ones, it's just, call her mum, because she was the first person in that sort of role to show me any affection. It was weird. Because my ex-mother-in-law was a fucking thunder cunt. Right? I mean, proper, oh my god. Right? Still is. I mean, seriously. If this happened to anyone, it's fucking... Oh, fuck. But, and it spread quickly, right? She found a lump, and it was, again, and it spread quickly. And I'm trying to be supportive of my partner, because it's her mother, and I've already watched one die. I don't think I can do it with another one. You know. And I wasn't even really attached to the first one. And I know that's selfish as fuck, but I just don't. Well, I know I've got to be strong, but it was hard enough the first time. That's what I'm saying, it's a mixed emotion. And that's really strange coming from someone who doesn't fucking really have any. But I don't know if I can watch that again. Because even though my relationship with my mother wasn't great, it was painful to watch her die. Because she died of the same thing. Yeah, so... I don't know if is that selfish? Is it? Is it really selfish? Because I've never ever turned around and said this to anyone. Not even my friends. I just never considered it worth talking about, because I understand what it feels like to be in her position, but she's got it a lot worse, because she actually... They're quite a close family, and that is alien to me most of the time, you know. And I'm a loner of sorts, because not by choice, if that makes sense. I don't mind spending... I don't like spending time alone. I don't mind spending time on my own. I mean, you do get lonely, obviously you do. But I don't mind spending time on my own. It's just one of those things. I never have minded it. But long periods of being on your own is quite unsettling. But again, but I don't always participate in some of the family activities. And what I mean by that is my partner will go in and spend like the afternoon with him and have coffee. I would rather spend the afternoon in my fortress of solitude, which is my house, and do something else. Well, do something like this, right? Or I'm out at work, so I never really involved in the whole social thing, except for I'll go to functions and stuff like that, right? But they're so tightly knit, and they're so, when something happens they rally together, and that again is another alien thing to me. I mean, completely and utterly alien. It's like, good God, right? But I've grown accustomed to it over the years, and I'm starting to, well, feel that way myself about it. But anyway, it's just the whole, am I being selfish for thinking about myself on that one? I mean, it's hard enough, as I said, it was hard enough losing one that we didn't really get on. But losing one who I would consider to be like a mother to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dickhead. Right? But, no. But, anyway. I know this wasn't one of the normal videos that came out in it, and there was no humour. Well, I suppose there'll probably a joke or two in there somewhere. But, I just needed to talk about it for a minute. Or 15. I kept it inside of 40 minutes, didn't I? But no, I just didn't know if I was being an asshole or not. Maybe somebody would tell me that I am. Maybe somebody would tell me that I'm not. But I just had to say something, you know. See, I would never say this to her. I would never say this to any of her family. I've never said this to any of my friends. And if any of my friends have subscribed to me, they're going to know about it now. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you in the next one.